What's up everyone, Coach David here, Mr. Defiance Training. So today's video I'm going to show you how I personally warm up when it comes to squats. Now, warming up, in my opinion, is a subjective term. I've heard from other trainers who have a little bit of more academic background than I do. They've taken more of the upper division courses in school than I have. They said there's other studies showing that there's no correlation between your performance and how you warm up, or whether you warm up or whether you don't. Now, I've tested that around, and yeah, sometimes I feel like I can jump in to a workout with no warm up and I feel just fine. There's other days where I'm like, ooh, something doesn't feel right, or like I jump straight into a weight. I'm like, yep, that's not it right there. So, when it comes to my squatting, if I'm squatting in the evening after a day where I was moving around a lot, then I could just jump in and squat, no problem. But if I try jumping in and squatting on a day when I've been sitting down for hours at a time, maybe I was in the office or whatever, then yeah, some things are a little tight. I gotta loosen them up before I can go. So again, try it out. If you could jump in, go for it. Some people, their warm-up is actually squatting just with lightweight and then working their way up. Other people, not as much. So for me, as you can see, I was rolling out my legs, adding some good pressure. You can do any type of foam rolling. Me personally, I prefer doing it with the stick. So I just get my legs nice and rolled out, get all that tension, all that stiffness out. After that, I go into some opening the gates and closing the gates. Now for each one, I'll do 5 one way with one leg. And then I'll do the same leg, but this time 5 going in. And I'm going through as much range of motion as I can. Once I get that side, then I go ahead and get the other. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5, and now the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, once I'm done with that, then I go ahead and go into some leg swings, so more of a dynamic warm up. So I try to go through as much range of motion again. I'll swing 5 one way, 5, and then I'll go ahead and get the other leg. Make sure you don't kick anything around you though. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now I'll still go into some leg swings, but this time I'm going forward and back instead of side to side. And then same thing, I'll go through 5 of them. And then the other side. Now for these, I'm not excessively trying to kick my leg as high as I can, just enough to feel a little slight stretch in my hamstring and a little bit in my hip flexor on the way down. Alright, so I went through foam rolling, or we'll call it soft tissue work. You know, whatever means you want to use it by. Theragun, stick roller, foam roller, whatever it may be. Then I went into a little bit more dynamic stuff with the opening, closing the gates, and the leg swings. Last thing I'll do before I actually get into the actual squat movement itself is I like to warm up my hips. And honestly, at this point, it's not so much to warm up my hips. I mean, they already went through all the range of motion with all the swings and everything. It's more of to work on my glute medius and get the little muscles in the hip that I don't normally address directly when it comes to my actual leg workout. So this is more just to get it out the way rather than a squat, rather than a warm up. I can go straight into squatting after this, no problem. So what I like to do is 5 with just one knee, and afterwards 5 with the other. And the way I picked it up like this, well, oh no, not 5, 10 and 10. And once I get the 10 on both sides, then I do both ends together. And I actually got this idea from watching Saquon Barkley, he's running back for the New York Giants. I saw his pregame warm-up, he was doing that. And I'm like, let me try that out. I'm like, oh, I feel a good burn right here on the glute medius side of my hips, a little bit in the glutes. I like that. Afterwards, done with those 10, 10, and then 10 both sides, I lower the band down to my ankles, and then I just go out to the sides, and then same thing. I go for another 10, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then I'll go ahead and get the other side. One thing I'm being really mindful of is to not kick my toe outward. I like to keep it perfectly straight, really feeling the burn right here on the sides. 9 and 10. And then last band work, facing one way, leg straight. Now I'm going to some single leg hip extensions, really targeting that glute. Again, I don't do direct glute work that much in my workout, like hip thrusts, kickbacks, things like that. So this is probably the closest I'll get to direct glute isolation exercise within my workout. And again, I say isolation with squats, lunges, a lot of lower body exercises, RDLs do work your glutes, but also works with other muscle groups like quads and hamstrings and all that. So to just isolate the glutes, this is as good as it's gonna get for me. 8, 9, 10. There we go. Done with the band. Now everything's got a good pump, everything's nice and loose. Now I'll go into some actual body weight squats first. So I usually do right around 5. Nice and controlled, really feeling out everything. And if I feel like a little bit of stiffness somewhere, if I feel like some weight shift, like if I'm going down one way, I'm like, all right, gotta address that first. So just feel it out. Take a little bit longer time to warm up or to address an issue if you feel it. And then on my 5th one, I like to do some pulses. And then just sitting there, shifting my weight back and forth. There we go. All right, everything's nice and loose. Did some bodyweight squats. After this, I will go into squat rack, put the bar on my back, do 10 reps with just the bar, and after that, start adding the weight and pyramiding up until I reach my max or my heaviest set. There you have it. That's my warm up for squats. Like I said, I can just jump in and squat some days and I feel good. Other days like today, I was sitting all day, so I was like, oh, probably should loosen everything up or else I'm gonna feel super tight. Keep this in mind. If you have to spend over 30 minutes or just any long amount of time warming up because you're so tight and you gotta loosen everything up, then you should probably be rethinking what you're doing the other hours throughout the day. Why are you that tight in the first place? For example, right now, this warm up took what? Maybe like 5 minutes, maybe a little over, maybe like 7 minutes. You can check to see how long this video is. It didn't take me all that long. So it shouldn't take you that long either. Please add in any other exercises you feel like you need. Take some out that you don't like for up here. Adjust the warm up, find what works best for you. I just found over the years this is just a good overall quick warm up for me and my legs. If you haven't already, please follow me on Instagram. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you all next time.